I mean, what is really good, my people? It is UK. Try to brother dr.blick, the darkest man who rounded. Today, guys, I'll be reviewing chapter 859 of One Piece. And today, guys, I'm here with Royalty. Say hi to the people, man.
What's good, guys? Thanks for having me again, man. Appreciate it. This chapter was great.
Yeah, the chapter was actually, it was really good. It gave me a little shock because I did not expect Oda to flat out tell us the plan, and then you got Luffy having a surprise within the plan. Like, Royalty, just break down the chapter for the people, man.
Okay, so essentially basically the entire chapter we have them just all talking about what the plan is, and basically we find out that Big Mom is essentially like a tank, because anything really doesn't hurt her, but the one thing that does, which kind of brings some suspicion here, is like this picture of what's her name, Mother something, like a picture of a lady, and for some reason whenever someone touches it or something happens to it, she goes crazy. So that's interesting. And she apparently, when she goes in that berserk mode and she starts screaming and stuff, her Conqueror's Haki comes out and everyone around just gets messed up. So yeah, to counteract that, they have earplugs, and we also have the weapon they plan to use. But I feel like with this plan being just so open, and them Oda just telling us like what they plan to do, something's gonna happen that's just gonna make it fail. Something.
Of course.
Something. And I also get the feeling that even like even though I kind of don't like her, I feel like I don't. But I think she is also planning something. I don't know. I just have a feeling that she's gonna do something, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what that is, because didn't she even say she doesn't really Big Mom annoys her or something like that? So I think she's planning something. She's definitely gonna do something. And you know what's funny is both sides are basically waiting on a signal to start this big fiasco, because on Big Mom's side you have it to where as soon as Sanji gets shot, it's time to murk his whole family, and then on Luffy's side, when Pudding shoots, it's time for him to get in there and create some havoc, so they have enough time to carry the plan out. And I don't know, I feel like even that could be messed up, because what if something happens to where Luffy misinterprets the signal, rushes in there, and that just completely goes left field? We're gonna have to wait and see, but I know the plan is not gonna pan out in the way they want it to. That's for damn sure.
I totally agree. And with the whole picture making Big Mom go berserk and make her guard drop down, it kind of reminds me of Venom. You know how like sound he goes berserk and Venom's so weak, like the symbiote like is all weak, and it kind of reminds me of that in that aspect. So seeing that, it was kind of interesting to know that Big Mom has that weakness. But like, when you think about it, people that have devil fruits all have weaknesses of drowning in water. It doesn't mean that it's easy to beat them, because like all of those people that have weaknesses, they're good at covering the weakness up to a certain extent. You got Neji. He was like, obviously like what happened with him in Naruto, but to a certain extent he was good at covering up the weakness. That's what people do. When you have weaknesses, you try and cover it up and try and make sure people don't use that against you. For Big Mom to like have that glaring open weakness, and so many people see it, knowing her, she probably has a backup plan. She probably has so many people that will back her. And like you said, it's too easy to go through. Like it's too easy. It's too easy for them to go through. And then you got Luffy planning something, and the worst part, Luffy's planning something, and not everybody knows. Only Luffy knows.
Exactly. And you have to understand, Luffy is a guy. Whenever we've seen it time and time again. When you have a plan, this man does not follow that for shit. He will just go and do his own thing. So we're gonna have to wait and see what he's doing. And also we have Caesar over here, who's in charge.
You mean?
Caesar, yeah. Who's Gastino, whatever you want to call him, Gangster Gastino over here, who's gonna be
Gastini, bro.
Gastini. Luffy was laughing at his ass. He's in charge of the getaway. I don't trust him. As soon as he sees some trouble, I'm sure this man's the fuck out of there.
He's running, bro.
So they're gonna be screwed if something bad happens and he gets scared and he just runs, and they're gonna have no escape plan. So that's gonna be interesting to see. One thing I really liked about this chapter was just the overall comedic aspect of it. Like when he got called Gas Tiny and Luffy's laughing at him and Nami's just like, who cares what we call him? He's still like a trash person anyway. And it's just it was a good chapter. I loved it. I loved the weakness we found from Big Mom, even though she really doesn't have many at all. And it was funny too in the beginning of the chapter when she wakes up and she doesn't notice that that's not actually Brook and think he died. And as soon as they mention the cake, she goes fucking just lollygaggy, just all happy and shit. It's just like, oh my gosh, she's a crazy person.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Mom has bipolar. The way she switches her personalities and she's all over the place and everything, like, I wouldn't be surprised, because the way they're building this up, everyone in that alliance for the most part is not on the same wavelength. It's not like the Law and Luffy alliance where somewhat they're on the same page. With this alliance, none of them are on the same page. None of them are on the same page. None of them, like, for the most part, like, the way the alliance is set up is, okay, we take down Big Mom, you save the Fin Smokes, and then we run. And then as soon as we run, the alliance ends there. The way they described it was like a rushed sort of alliance that obviously both parties didn't want. They're just doing it out of that they have to. The way they basically said, oh, we get it and then we run, like, it says it all. Like, it says it all. It seems it's just clustered. But there's one thing I like about Oda. What he does is that with One Piece, and not a lot of other series does this, when it's people talking, I love the whole dialogue between the characters. I love that about One Piece. And he does a great job. And the art of the chapter with Caesar's face when he was talking about the weapons, the detail behind it, and then the detail put in at the end of the chapter. Wow.
Yeah,
the wedding is next, bro.
He makes great scenes. I think we only have an hour left, and I also want to mention, you know what's funny is with this plan, like we were saying, like I think it was last week, you know, this man Bege over here, he's gonna do something to screw over Luffy, and I feel like even with this plan, if something goes wrong, he can just put his hands up like, oh shit, no, it was all Straw Hat's fault. I had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And he could just throw him under the bus if anything goes really bad. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. All I know is I'm super excited. This chapter was great. I loved it.
Oh yeah, before we like end this, I just want to talk about this one thing real quick. And that is the fact that the way they keep including Brule and everything. Brule's like, why? I'm not a part of you guys. Leave me alone. Don't bring me into this, bro. You're the ones that are gonna get your ass kicked, bro. Like, seeing that part was amazing. I actually enjoyed seeing that part in like Oda implemented that part still to this day, and how Brule's with them and how they're planning on using Brule's mirrors to get out there. That part was amazing. I really loved that. And yeah, I do agree with what you said about Capone, about him gonna screw them over. And it's funny because I was talking with Anime Fan Talk earlier today, and he made a point, and I was talking about this with other people as well. Luffy, since the time skip, has made so many alliances and so many agreements with so many different people. I like what Nika Robbins said. Alliances don't always end well, and people thought that initially meant Law's alliance. Oda can mean any alliance. Like, it doesn't have to be Law's. It could be Capone's. It could be the Grand Fleet. It could be literally anyone. Obviously, the Grand Fleet and like is a stretch, obviously. But I just use that as an example. But Capone seems the likely one, or maybe Kid if he aligns with them with Kaido in the future. Those two characters I mentioned, based on their personalities, they seem the likely ones to screw over Luffy. And we've already seen his backstory, and he also said that to Doflamingo when he made that speech, you're underrated, you underrate the Straw Hats, they've done loads of miracles. And then on top of that, he was willing to stay. So Capone is probably the leading candidate to portray Luffy in some sort of way. Like, something bad's gonna happen. Obviously the Straw Hats are gonna come out alive, but people dying, and what's happening with Pedro as well, because Pedro's literally saying that he's barely got enough life to get out of this island, and the way Oda's kind of pushed Pedro aside in terms of his importance in terms of him like being able to recover from and be able to extend his lifespan. It looks like Pedro could actually go out in this arc.
That would suck. I like Pedro as a character. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, man. I just wanted to mention really quickly when you were talking about Brule, you know something. She also said, I got to inform Big Mom somehow. So I wonder if she's actually going to be able to do that. Because if she's able to relay any type of warning to her, that's going to throw a real big wrench in their plan for sure.
But I feel like it'll be more of Peckham's than Brule, because the way Brule is saying it, it's more of a comedy sort of line, saying I'm not with you guys, I'm gonna tell, and obviously he doesn't tell, because it's like the way they've set up is too comedic in my opinion for that to happen, but it's still a possibility. Like the way Oda set this up, anything can happen. But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say.
I forgot about Peckham's, but yeah, I agree, man. I think that's a likely things to happen is he's gonna fuck it up somehow. But yeah, I think that's all we gotta say, man.
The chapter overall was good.
Great.
Yeah. So what would you rate the chapter before I close the video?
Out of what, 5 or 10?
Yeah, let's do out of 5.
I'd say, yeah, I give it a 5, man. I didn't really see much wrong with that. I loved it. Had great comedy. It showed us Big Mom's like kind of weakness, and it was just overall just great. I loved seeing all the characters interact, seeing how the plan's gonna go down, even though we know it's probably gonna fail, all that type of stuff. So,
I totally agree with that. I'll give it a 5 as well, just because it was a really fun chapter. Like you said, there's nothing really wrong. The pace of the chapter and the stuff that Oda implemented is very vital and important. Like all of that junk was good, and we've been getting good One Piece chapters. Like the pace of this arc in terms of the stuff we're getting to know has not slowed down at all.
Nope.
And yeah, that's pretty much the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, rating, and also check out Royalty's channel. A link will be in the description below. I highly recommend it. But anyway, guys, please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, please leave a like, rating if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, this UK Trotter Brother will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.
See ya.